So Kanye West wants to become president, and he's on the Joe Rogan podcast telling us his reasons why. So let's take a listen.
But I think my calling is to be. I believe that my calling is to be the leader of the free world. Not. I mean, if
look at his face.
It's in God's plan that part of my path is to be
You just
the
can't
governor,
process
then
it.
that's fine. But my calling is to be the leader of the free world.
So when you say this, like when you say your calling is to be the leader of the free world, what does that mean to you? Does it mean do you have a plan that's different than the plans that have been implemented before? Does it mean that you have ideas?
What kind of plan?
Like
Great
the plan
question.
to be the leader. Like what would you do if you were
Any
the leader
plan.
of the free world? Like what would be different about the way you would handle things? Like if that's your plan, like what is it about that is your calling? Like why would you want to do that? Like what do you want to do differently? If
You gotta give credit to Joe Rogan because he's had legitimate presidential candidates on, like Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, and he still gives like Kanye West like the respect. Like, so what's your plan? Or like, why do you want to be president? Like, it's very respectful, this interview, even though a lot of people don't take Kanye West seriously.
Obviously, they do. If he's been able to succeed and move forward.
No, but I don't think people would give him a fair interview like Joe. They wouldn't be like, "What's your plan?" Like he's actually like asking him genuinely.
Joe Rogan does that to all of his guests, I feel. But
Well,
yeah.
Well, there was a couple questions in there. You said, why is that your calling? There's people who will say to me, they'll say, well, music is bigger than politics or more influential than politics, or celebrities are more influential. And I thought of it like if I was a pastor of 100,000 person church, but then I was also a captain, a sailor, and then we went to war, and I said, I'm gonna man this ship that has 1,000 people, 1,000 soldiers on it, because God is calling me to take this position, even though I'm the pastor for, however big my audience is in hip hop, in music, or as just an influencer or celebrity.
What? Wait, so he asked him why? Or he asked him what's his plan, and then he's telling him that he was a pastor of a big church because of his hip-hop influence, but now he's moving to a smaller church with his politics?
No, he's moving into something else that people might think he's not like qualified for. And
Yeah, but he's talking...
He's going,
But that, like, he's asking what his plan is, and he's talking about this weird metaphor.
like he's practicing to be a politician.
Or just as a dad and a husband in my house, the world is like, there couldn't be a better time to put a visionary in the captain's chair.
Yeah, but what's your vision?
And that's not to say we haven't had visionaries before. I'm not coming here to down any of the other. I'm not here to down Trump, down Biden. I'm just here to express why God has called me to take this position.
So when you say a visionary, you think of yourself in terms of like as an artist, as a creator, as someone who has these thoughts that they manifest in terms of music and art and creation and design, the things that you do. Mm-hmm. That's why you think you're different as a visionary.
Yeah, I think I'm different from. I mean, we're all different. So I'm definitely different from everybody. We're all different from each other. I mean, I do bump into people that seem to be like the same character inside of.
Yeah.
It's like.
I've seen
people,
one of those before.
Yeah, that people play the same role. It's like, well, I just met you before. You're
Yeah.
just like the head of this company over here. You're the same kind of person. Yeah, I mean, I manifest. I see things. I'm a great leader because I listen, and I'm empathetic, and I feel the entire earth, and I feel us as a species, as the human race. Like sometimes people think utopia as almost like a negative word. That's like,
No, that's dystopia.
we couldn't have that, but I do believe in world peace. Like
He sounds like he's running for like student class council. I
feel
can't
like
take
he's
this.
practicing to become a politician.
He's asking
That's
him
he's
what
gonna
his
do.
vision is. I don't get it. It's so weird.
People hit me with the, I want to.
We watched the debates. Trump got asked what his plans for COVID and all that stuff, and all he could say was how, like, what happened in the past, it's like, it's a regular distraction method when they don't have an answer. Maybe.
Sure, but it's like if you're gonna run for president, you have to have some sort of answer.
Oprah said, that she
But technically, no. He saw Trump get there. What answers did he ever give besides
Yeah, if
being
he
a
had
marketer
if
and
he
an
had a run
entertainer?
if he had a run like Trump and he actually got the nomination from a large
From a
party,
large
yeah,
party,
absolutely,
yeah.
people take it
But-
seriously. But he's not.
He's not, but he thinks maybe he can. Maybe this is an opportunity to try it.
I don't think
to
he's
do
doing
it.
a good job though. I don't think he's like. I think Andrew Yang had a better chance than Kanye West. Andrew Yang actually had answers. Kanye's just kind of dishing out weird metaphors.
Andrew Yang could definitely appease political people.
you got to bone up on your foreign affairs. I remember this, like, because it's Oprah talking, so
Right.
I'm going to remember a lot of what the conversation was. But
business
that's the
people.
first thing she said was,
Is that the same?
you know, foreign affairs and foreign policies. Like, just, I think the reason why I say leader and not politician or not even specifically president is this is the time. You know, when the Constitution was written, that was an innovation. Now, the world is innovated all around our political system.
If you really did become president, when you do become president, you're going to have to deal with hostile governments. You're going to have to deal with
Did he
hostile
get his
militaries
answers from
and dictators. You know, people in other country that
14 in
in
this.
other countries that don't have a value of human life, and throughout history we've had immense problems because of that, because of military conflicts. How do you think you will approach that? I mean, you will be the commander-in-chief of the greatest army the world has ever known. If you're in that position and we have to deal with some sort of a military action with China, what if China takes over Taiwan? What if they invade Taiwan? What if something happens with Syria? What if something happens with Iran? What if something happens with Russia? And you have to make decisions about military action. Have you thought about this?
And that's like an easy question.
Yes, I would. I have to say again, like COVID, I'm a civilian, and people can have all their perspectives that they could have of what they would do in that situation. But I would have the greatest professionals on the planet, the most skilled people that have all the experience that would present the information, and I would make the most sound, rational decisions, and I would
According to who?
follow God's will in my approach.
That's what the Republicans do, and we've gotten like endless war.
That's just they just
To
wanted
dealing
the
with
money
these other
wheel to
countries,
move.
to deal
I
with
know,
these
but-
other leaders. There's something about, you know, our president's personality and the leader of North Korea's personality, where there's
He's
a
met
level
both
of
of them?
common respect, and that's the reason why they were able to talk, and we the fear had been taken off of us.
It wasn't
like,
about control.
People who are God-fearing, self-made servants of their people. These other, you know, scary dictators, they feel like they're that for their
What?
country.
Kanye,
And
come
if
on.
they see
What?
You see them sort of what?
a president that they know is just taking a check or part of a bigger conglomerate. Now, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to denounce any of the candidates. Then it's It's very transactional.
What?
It's
What's he talking about?
I don't know. Okay, so Joe Rogan asked him, like, what happens if there's like a foreign, something happens, like, and you need like to command the military. What would you do? He's like, I'll listen to the experts, but, and then he starts talking about the personality of Trump and like the dictator of North Korea and how like people see that as transactional. That's where we are right now, and it's like, what? If you just listen to the experts, which are the defense contractors, you're just going to lead us more into endless war. That's what Obama did. That's what Bush did. That's what Clinton did.
It
And-
makes the world go round. He's like, no, gotcha.
He's still,
Did you glitch?
did you just fall asleep?
Praying.
I just said a prayer.
Oh my God, are you
This
Kanye?
isn't-
You said a prayer because of what? What motivated you to say a prayer right there?
Y'all don't know spiritual crazy people.
The seriousness, the significance of this subject.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't jump from jokes about this to joking about
he hasn't
people's
been
lives.
laughing
Right.
about this.
We have to completely
He's so serious.
be still in this moment. Allow God to guide our steps and ask the right questions with the highest ranking officials possible. This isn't something that you just wing or that you just come in and say, oh, I did a bit of research. I got this like political answer
Right.
that's going to get a rise out of people. Like this is people's lives. This is a whole different, setting or mood than what this whole interview has been about. This is, people are suffering throughout all sides in Israel and in Nigeria and Haiti. We're suffering in the police force in Chicago, and the people who have been harmed by police and the police force. Like,
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
this all is going to take serious time. Like, time is love. It's going to take that love and that time and moments of listening, moments of understanding, moments like when my wife goes and visits people in prison and she hears their stories, she says, I understand. I understand why you're in that situation. I would have did the same thing in this situation. And for us to go to foreign countries and really understand why that they're in these situations, or why the killing has gone for so long, or why the hate has gone so long, or why the pain just keeps on, compounding and compacting.
He wouldn't waste money
There's
on
an
and time
empathy
on North Korea. He
that
would
I just have
focus
as an
on
artist.
Issues he feels
That it doesn't become a 2
need to
plus
be
2
addressed.
equals
I don't know
4
why he doesn't
situation. My dad
express
was
what
actually
those
a psychologist.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. Like, he asked him, what are you going to do if like foreign conflicts come about? And he's like, we have to understand like pain. But it's like, that's not a plan.
Major and a Christian
Probably totally
therapist.
withdraw
And
from.
this therapy, we talk about
say
therapy,
it out loud.
period. It's like we need healing internationally, not just selfishly for America. America's number one. Internationally, we need healing. And I would lead.
How?
I would
Keep
lead
saying the
with,
same thing.
with love, dignity, the responsibility to our country, the coverage of our families, of our soldiers.
He's gonna bring political correctness back into.
How? He doesn't have any
And full
plans.
Just
service
by
to God
being
and to
not
the American
Trump.
people. There's a mode that I would be in that position. Like, when I was a producer and I was a really young man, I was running around hopping on trains or hopping turnstiles and stuff, and like stealing from cars, and I mean, not stealing cars, but stealing clothes from stores. And then I was selling music and going and buying leather jackets and stuff. Then dating a whole bunch of girls, going on tour, and then I had a family, and I had to adjust a lot of my mentality and behavior to grow and be the man that I needed to be. Then God called me, and I gave my life to Christ. And God is helping me to be the Christian that I need to be. And when it's in God's will that I become the leader, I will become the leader that I need to be. So right now, as I said, I'm a civilian, but my heart, my mind, and my spirit is in a place where I know that I'm being called to captain this ship. Like when Roosevelt went in, America was in shambles.
But he was a politician before that. He's basically saying he'll be ready once he gets into that position. That's something nuts.
That's what politicians always say.
Adidas, when I went to Gap, like, I'm the person that you actually call when things are not going so well. Mm. You had the mob movies is the guy that goes cleans up everything and like puts everything. I'm like the forensic, where in the same way how you saw my mind touch on 10 things at a time, and then I had to say 10 sentences at a time if I could say them, or maybe narrow them down to 7. That's the way my mind takes, information in, and then it synthesizes it, and it comes out as a song, or it comes out as a product. Using that mentality as a leader, fearless, God-fearing, we will heal. We will show the world what America should be, the dream.
You said all this shit, all the things that you've said, in the most non-politician way I've ever heard anybody describe these things. I know you really mean these things. But he also didn't
say anything.
It's resonating with me that you're being 100% honest.
I'm alive and I'm going to continue living, and that's what he said.
That's what we're missing.
What? Joe, come on. I don't know. I wanted to give Kanye a chance. I'm not convinced.
When I first heard that he was running, I thought, what did I think? First, I thought it was a joke. And then I thought, whoa. I forgot what he said something, and it alluded to what I initially thought. Do you remember what you thought when... I didn't know if it was real. When
he's been saying it since 2016, so it's like we're all just waiting.
Yeah, I guess maybe it doesn't mean it's this year. It might be like 4 years from now.
Well, I don't know. He's gonna have to do better.
Yeah, maybe
if he really believes this is his
start
destiny.
Putting together plans.
Yeah, can't half-ass it. All right. Well, if you guys are stressed about the election, go check out our merch store if you want buds like this. But if you don't have buds, we're your buds. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Watch our scary stuff.
If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe.